Today, we're going on a pretty wild journey, a vertical one, right through Nepal. This is a place where, believe it or not, a short walk can literally take you from Arctic peaks down to subtropical jungles. So, let's dive right in. Okay, so first things first, let's get a sense of the scale. If you were to walk from one end of Nepal to the other, east to west, you'd be covering about 885 kilometers. That's its length. But honestly, that's not where the real story is. The crazy part is its width. On average, from north to south, it's only 193 kilometers wide. I mean, in some spots, it's even narrower, down to just 145. And it's this incredible squeeze that sets up one of the most amazing paradoxes in all of geography.
So that's the big question we're tackling today, right? How can a country that skinny pack in so much unbelievable diversity? Well, the secret isn't how long it is, it's all about how tall it is.
All right, let's start our journey at the very top. We're in the north, in the Himalayan region. I mean, this is literally the crown of the world. It's this kingdom of ice and rock that basically controls everything that happens below it. The water, the weather, even life itself.
Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale here, think about this. Of the 14 tallest mountains on the entire planet, the so-called 8,000ers, Nepal has 8 of them. 8. We're talking about the absolute titans of our world. And look at this lineup. You've got Sagarmatha, of course. That's what we all know as Mount Everest. But then you have Kanchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu. The list just goes on. Each one is a legend. It's a staggering collection of peaks, all in one country.
So, what's it like to live up here? Well, as you can probably guess, it's incredibly tough. The climate is pure tundra and alpine. That means it's below freezing for most of the year. The air is thin, the land is bare. You have to be seriously resilient to make a life here.
Okay, so let's start making our way down. We're leaving those icy peaks behind and descending into what's known as the Pahad, or the hilly region. And let me tell you, this is a whole different world. This is the temperate, bustling core of the country.
Yeah, if the Himalayas are the crown, then the Dari Hills are definitely the heart. This is where you find those famous fertile valleys like Kathmandu and Pokhara. For centuries, this has been the absolute center of Nepali culture, civilization, and politics.
And just look at the difference. It's night and day. We went from a handful of people to packed valleys, from bone-chilling cold to a really pleasant temperate climate. The whole way of life changes, from herding animals in the high mountains to farming and city life down here. It's a completely different reality, and we've only moved a little bit south.
All right, time for the final leg of our descent. We're heading all the way down to the Terai. Now, this is the complete opposite of where we started. We're talking flat, hot, southern plains that run right up against the border with India.
So, why is this flat strip of land so important? Well, they call it the breadbasket of Nepal, and for a very good reason. All those rivers flowing from the Himalayas deposit this super rich, alluvial soil right here. The result? Some of the best farmland you'll find anywhere in South Asia. But here's something that might surprise you. This agricultural engine room, the Terai, only makes up about 17% of Nepal's total land. I mean, look at that. It's the smallest region by far. The hilly region we just came from, that's a whopping 62% of the country. Okay, so smallest land area, right? But now look at this. This is where it gets really interesting. That tiny little strip of land is home to more than half of Nepal's entire population. It shows you this huge story of migration, of people moving down from the hills and mountains to the plains, all chasing a better life and economic opportunity.
So, there you have it. We've gone from the highest peaks all the way down to the flat plains. Now let's connect the dots and see how this amazing vertical geography is the source of Nepal's incredible natural wealth. And we've got to start with its most precious resource of all.
Get ready for this, because this fact is just mind-blowing. After Brazil, Nepal, this small, landlocked nation, has the second richest inland water resources in the world. How is that even possible? Well, it all goes back to that vertical drop. The Himalayas basically act as a giant water tower for the entire region.
And this water system is really neat. It's organized in 3 distinct tiers. And guess what? Each tier comes from one of the regions we just visited. You've got the first tier, the big ones, like the Koshi and Karnali, born from the Himalayan glaciers. Then the second tier, which starts in the Mahabharat Range in the hills. And finally, the third tier, these seasonal rivers that pop up in the Chure Hills right at the edge of the Terai. Now, all that water falling from such a great height,
It doesn't just make for pretty rivers. It creates incredible power. We're talking an estimated hydropower potential of 83,000 megawatts. That's a massive amount of clean energy, and it's a direct gift of the very same geography that makes the country so challenging.
And it's not just the climate that changes as you go down. The plant life does too, almost like you're walking down a ladder. At the very top, you've got tundra, just some mosses and lichens. A step down, you're in alpine and coniferous forests. Another step, it's the temperate deciduous forests of the hills. And at the very bottom, boom, you're in subtropical evergreen jungles. It's a perfect ecosystem ladder.
So what does this ladder of different habitats get you? Insane biodiversity. It's no surprise that each of these zones has its own amazing national parks. You've got Sagarmatha National Park way up in the Himalayas, where you might find a snow leopard. And then you go all the way down to Chitwan in the Terai, which is world famous for its rhinos and tigers.
And Chitwan is such a great example of this. It's become this world-renowned success story. I mean, they've done an incredible job there with the conservation of the one-horned rhinoceros, bringing it back from the very brink of extinction. It's really inspiring.
So what does this all boil down to? You hear that old saying, geography is destiny. Well, I can't think of many places on Earth where that is more true than in Nepal.
When you think about it, that short 193-kilometer trip from north to south, it's not just a line on a map. It's a journey through completely different worlds, different climates, different cultures, different ecosystems. In Nepal, altitude isn't just a number, it's everything.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. This incredible vertical geography is both a gift and a challenge, right? It provides all this water, all this biodiversity, but it also makes things like building roads and connecting communities incredibly difficult. So the real question for the future is, how does this vertical nation take that amazing gift and use it to overcome the very real challenges it creates?